Here we go. All right, math workshop today. Sarah's book bag weighs 18 1/3 pounds. When she removes her math textbook, the book bag weighs 16 3/8 pounds. How much does Sarah's math book weigh? What should I be doing for this problem? What operation? What's happening here? Kaylin? We're going to subtract. So we're going to have to take 18 1/3, and I'm going to have to subtract 16 3/8. Now guys, subtracting with the fractions, that was one of the harder ones, one of the harder things that we did. So someone help me remember, what is it when I'm subtracting fractions? What is my rule? What do I have to do when I'm subtracting fractions? Camilla? My denominators have to be the same. So what's an easy number to make 3 and 8 match with? Trip? 24. Because I can multiply 3 times 8, and I'm also going to multiply the top by 8. If I do it to the bottom, we do it to the top, and I'm going to multiply 8 times 3, and then the 3 times 3. Because that would give me 24. So now my new math problem is going to say 18 and 8 is 1 times 8 is 8, 3 times 8 is 24, minus 16, 3 times 3 is 9, 8 times 3 is 24. All right? So, but now we have a whole other problem. My denominators match, but when I look at the top, it says 8 minus 9. Can I do 8 minus 9? Akenna? I can't do that, but I can. She said I can take 1 away from 18. So 18 is going to become 17. Now I took 1 whole away from the 18, correct? So I'm not just adding 1 to 8. I'm adding all 24 of that denominator to 8. So 24 plus 8 gives me 32 over 24. All right, and then I still have minus 16 and 9 over 24. Okay, so I'm going to pause here real quick. This was something that a lot of us struggled with in fraction when we were doing all that fraction stuff. This was like the hardest thing. Okay, this is the hardest thing we did when we were adding and subtracting. Are there any questions on where I got 32 from? We just took that denominator and added it to the top, all right? Because remember, 1 whole is actually 24 over 24. So that's why that 24 gets added to the top, okay? All right, now if I look at those top numbers, it says 32 minus 9. Can I do 32 minus 9? 32 minus 9? Yeah, I can take 9 away from 32. I can take 9 from 32. 32 minus 9 is going to give me 23 over 24. We worked really hard to get those to match. And then 17 minus 16 is 1. So let's make sure we have all that work in there. My answer is going to be A. We got to have all that work in there. So if I'm taking the time to write it, guys, I shouldn't just see bubbles. All right, I might have to start taking up these math workshops because a lot of us aren't filling in what we should be. Hunter? Okay, for the next one. All right, questions about number 3. All right, number 4, I need to compare those two fractions. I need to compare those two fractions. But right now, 2/5 and 6/15, they don't really mean anything to me. So what can I do here, Hunter?
You have to get the same denominator first.
I want the same denominator again. Just like in the adding and subtracting, we want to find that same denominator so they match and it's easy to compare. What's a good denominator for those?
15, and then you would have to do 5 times 3, and then on the top do 2 times 3, and that would be 6, and that would be equal.
Excellent. So here, if I multiply 3 times 5, then my denominator is going to match. And on the bottom, I'm going to have 15. On the top, 3 times 2 gives me
6.
Sorry, my 15 was looking kind of funny. All right, 3 times 2 gives me 6. So guys, that changes to 6 over 15. That one already had a 15 on the bottom. In fact, they even have the same thing on the top now. So Hunter, what did you say that means?
Equal to.
They're equal to each other. Okay? All right, number 5. Now, number 5, we got some bigger numbers. What am I going to do to make those denominators match? What am I going to do here to make those denominators match? Hunter's on the ball. I've already called on Hunter a lot. Okay? Again? Multiply. What am I going to multiply the first fraction by? Huh? Close, not 9 and 8. What we're doing, we're looking at the denominators. That's where our focus is right now. So to get them to match, I'm going to multiply my 11 by the other one, which was 13. So I'm going to multiply this by 13. If I do it to the bottom, we do it to the top. Excellent. And then over here, we're going to multiply this one by 11. If I do it to the bottom, do it to the top. So now, guys, this says 13 times 9. I might have to go over to the side and multiply that out, okay? I know 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 1 is 9, plus the 2 is 11. So I get 117 over 13 times 11. Truett, you already worked that out?
143.
143. Thank you. Again, go over to the side. We're going to have to do that long multiplication. Here, 8 times 11?
88.
88. And 13 times 11 is?
143.
143. All right, guys, I know in the past, like, a lot of y'all might have just, like, a lot of people have said, like, butterfly method and stuff like that. But I want us to really understand what we're doing is finding that denominator to make it match. So we really understand the concept of what's happening here. So now, guys, I can look at these fractions. I have 117 and 88. Which one of those is pretty big? Is obviously bigger?
117.
The 117. So which one of these fractions is bigger? The 9/11 or my 8/13? Siobhan?
9/11.
The 9/11 is going to be my greater than. 9/11 is greater than 8/13. And we just found that common denominator, which we did when we were adding and subtracting. All right, what about number 6? What's a good denominator for those? Noah?
5 by 6.
Okay, so I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 6. Because what's that going to make on the bottom?
30.
30. And if I do it to the bottom, do it to the top. I'm going to multiply my second fraction by 5. Because that's also going to make 30 on the bottom. So now over here, 6 times 2 is 12 over 30. And then 3 times 5 is
15.
over 30. So here it's easy to compare them. 12 is going to be smaller than 15. So 2/5 is smaller. What's the correct word though? I know I said something. Less than. Awesome. Less than 3/6. Making sure that alligator mouth is eating my 3/6. All right. Excellent job, guys. What I want you to do right now is get out your homework and a grading utensil. Get out our homework and a grading utensil. All right, yesterday, guys, we started with a new number 1, but we didn't I forgot to set up our table of contents. So what I want you to do real quick is I want you to get out a piece of paper. Get out a piece of paper, and I want you setting up the table of contents. All right, this is going to be the first thing in your notes section now. This will be the first thing in that notes and homework section. While you're doing that, I'm going to pass out our notes for today, which are going to be number 2. The notes for today are going to be number 2. we just graded was number 1. What you're getting today is number 2. You found yours right there? No, that's graded papers. That's your test, okay? Number 1 is this, what we just checked. Thank you. Thank you so much. Get them all covered. All right. So we're setting up our table of contents. You just got number 2. So once you set up your table of contents, put that in the correct place at the front of your notes section. Once you set up your table of contents, put that at the front of your notes section. No. Okay, does everyone have their table of contents set up?
Yes,
All right. Let's look at our notes today, okay? Make sure we numbered these number 2. If you still need time on your table of contents, I'll put that back up at the end, okay? If you still need time on your table of contents, I will put that back up. But make sure these are numbered number 2. So we have number 2 today. Zoom out a little bit so I have some more space. All right. Yesterday we did a lot of definitions, all right? And today we have 2 in here. We are evaluating algebraic expressions. I'm going to read to you the definition on evaluating, okay? It says, to find the value of an algebraic expression by replacing variables, which are letters, with numbers. So it just says to find the value by replacing the letters with numbers. So remember we talked about how a letter is like a placeholder, like how sometimes you hold someone's spot in line. The letter is holding the spot for the number. So when I see an M, what number is it holding the spot for? Maribel? 6. And when I see an N, what number is it holding the spot for? Hunter? 12. So in this case it says M plus N. What number is M waiting on, Javon? 6. Plus what number is N waiting on, Anahi? 12. I know that a lot of y'all could do that in your head. You could change it to 6 and 12 in your head. Can I see it happening in your head? No, you have to show me on the paper. And now, what is 6 plus 12? 18.
So do you have to put the what it's holding for up under the?
We want it to look exactly like it looked in the problem, but with a number in its place. Okay. Number 2 says N divided by M. So what is going to take N's place? Truett. 12. And Akinna, what is going to take M's place? 6. So I end up with 12 divided by 6. Are there any questions on where I'm getting that? All right. And what is 12 divided by 6, Camilla? 2. All right. I'm going to do number 3 because I want to talk about it because I've seen some funky stuff today. Number 3 says 3n plus 8. So we have 3. What is n? Noah? 12. And then we have plus 8. Now, guys, I want you to look at something. 3 and n were 2 different things, correct? So 3 and 12 have to be 2 different things. Right now, do they look like they're 2 different things? Right now, it looks like 312, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to put parentheses around that 12 to show that, hey, that's the 3, and then that number next to it is a 12, okay? So we have to keep them separate, all right? Now, guys, this is something that's kind of new. This is like one of those 6th grade secrets that you have to learn, okay? You have to learn some secrets in 6th grade before you can go to 7th and 8th grade. This is one of them, all right? In math, you can write multiplication without a symbol, okay? You can write multiplication without a symbol. You don't get to know this in the 5th grade. This is one of those special things that you learn in the 6th grade. And this is one of those things that you're going to see all the time at the high school. Okay? So right here, do y'all see how 3 and 12 are next to each other? What that means is that we're multiplying them. Okay? Now let me ask you this real quick. In the order of operations, should I multiply first or should I add first? Sean? I should multiply. So we're going to do 3 times 12 first, even though it doesn't see a time symbol. Right? 6th grade secret. We're learning today. That means it's multiplication, okay? So 3 and 12 next to each other. 3 times 12 is 36 plus 8 now. You see how I'm showing that work? So I want to make sure our work matches, okay? All right, and now it says 36 plus 8. Can I add those together? Yeah, what's 36 plus 8? Give me Truett. 44. Excellent job. Okay? All right. You're going to see a lot of that on your homework tonight where they're right next to each other. Okay? Anahi? You're going to start with the multiplication if it's there. We're just going to follow the order of operations, all right? So let's look at number 1, the next one down here. All right, so this time we have A, B, and C. What number is A going to be waiting on, Sean? 9. What number is B going to be waiting on, Tivit? And what number is C going to be waiting on, Ethan? 12. So right here on number 1 it says B to the 2nd power plus 4 times 6. What is my B going to change to, Rodrigo? 3. So instead of writing B to the 2nd power, I'm going to write 3 to the 2nd power plus 4 times 6. The only thing that changed is instead of writing B, I wrote 3. Some people today, especially my advanced students, like to go ahead and write a 9 here. Okay? I have to see that the B changed to a 3. All right? So now, order of operations. What am I going to do first? Truett.
3 times 3.
3 times 3, because this says 3 to the 2nd power. So we got to do the exponent, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We got to do the exponent. 3 to the 2nd power is 9 plus 4 times 6. Now what do I need to do? Siobhan?
Add. No, multiply.
Multiply comes first because it's please excuse my. So that multiplication. So I get 9 plus 24. And then 9 plus 24. Now we're ready for that final answer. 9 plus 24. McKenna? 33. All right. Number 2. Raise your hand if you think you can give me my new problem with my numbers. Javon?
3 to the 2nd power plus 5 with parentheses, 9 with parentheses, and minus 1.
All right. Awesome job, guys. I love how Javon said 3 to the 2nd power plus 5, and then he said the 9 in parentheses next to it minus 20. So he separated that 5, 9. Did he say 59? No. All right. You're going to get to the point where you are so good at knowing 5 with 9 next to it as multiplication that when you hear 5 times 9, you'll start writing this instead of using your X or your dot. You're going to get so used to it. You're going to be like, oh, just put parentheses around it. All right. What operation am I going to do first? Hunter? The exponent. We've got to do our exponent first, which gives me 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. Everything else is staying exactly as it is. All right, now what step do I need to do? Noah? Multiplication. So I have 9 plus 5 times 9 is?
45.
45, and then minus 20. All right, now what am I going to do? Kaylin? 9 plus 45, which gives me 54 minus 20. All right, and then 54 minus 20, what's my final answer going to be here? Owen? 34. Awesome job. Excellent job. Okay? All right, number 3. Guys, this one's been a little tricky today. Let's see who can do it. Camilla. 9 with 12 in parentheses. Awesome. Divided by, we have our parentheses. So here's what got you. It's 2b. So it's not 23. It's 2 times 3. And guys, that looks a little funky, doesn't it? That looks a little funky because I got parentheses inside of parentheses. So that looks kind of crazy, okay? All right. Now, order of operations starts with that please for parentheses, correct? I want us to look for a second right here. Now, guys, we didn't start with the parentheses, did we? Because inside the parentheses, the only thing that's there is a number. Is there any math inside that parenthesis? No. On number 3, do I have any parentheses that have math in them? Yes? Noah, I heard you in the back there. Which parentheses has math in it? Right here. Do y'all see how this parenthesis has 2 times 3 inside? So we're going to start there. Okay? So I have 9 times 12 still, divided by, what do I get inside those parentheses? Akina? 6. Okay? Now what operation do I need to do? Camilla? 9 times 12, which is? 108 divided by 6. Now, 108 divided by 6, I can't do that in my head. So I'm going to go over here to the side, and I'm going to put 6 at the door, and I'm going to put 108 in the house. How many times can 6 go into 10? Once. 1 times 6 is 6. When I subtract, 10 minus 6 is 4, and I bring down the 8. How many times will 6 go into 48? 8 times. 8 times 6 is 48. Is there any remainder? No. So what is 108 divided by 6? Kaylin? 18. It's what we had gotten on the top, okay? All right. 2 more problems. Y'all are doing a fantastic job. All right. We're going to talk about the back. We're going to talk about it, okay? Number 1. All right, guys, the amount of work y'all have depends on how we get through this last part. Y'all are doing awesome, okay? The Gentoo penguin can swim at a rate of 17 miles per hour. How many miles can a penguin swim in 4 hours? This is important. Use the expression. Isn't that what we've been doing? Expressions? RT, where R represents rate and T represents time. Do y'all see where it tells me to work the problem using RT? So guys, my problem is RT. The word problem told me use RT. Okay? What is R? R represents the rate. Okay, in the word problem, what was the rate of the penguin? Akina. Rate of 17. So I have 17. What was the time? Hunter.
4 hours.
4 hours. So 17 times 4, guys, I'm going to go ahead and write it out to save us some time. 17 times 4 is 68. All right, that's my answer. But what is 68 actually talking about? Let's see if we can write out a sentence to go with that. Hunter?
Like how many miles it can swim in 4 hours.
Perfect. That's how many miles a penguin can swim in 4 hours. So I'm going to say a penguin can swim 68 miles, that's my answer that I just got, in 4 hours. Okay. And that's with my messy, fast handwriting. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. I know some of us are still writing our sentence. I'll pause. Make sure you get that sentence written in. You know, word problems and sentences, that's where we have the trouble. Guys, I love how Hunter was able to go back to that question and read that and say, oh, I want to know how many miles a penguin swims in 4 hours. So when we are able to just word that as a sentence.
I like how you gave a word answer for a word problem.
That was awesome. Word problem, words in our answer. Okay? All right, number 2. Let's get number 2. A clothing company charges $6 to make a pattern for an order of T-shirts and $11 for each T-shirt it produces from the pattern. The expression 11n plus 6, do y'all see that? The expression 11n plus 6, that's what we're using to do our work. So I'm going to go ahead and write 11n plus 6. Right. Represents the cost of N shirts. Y'all see where I used the letter N again? All right, we've got to be careful when we're reading it because a lot of times little things like that we'll like skip over. We'll just say represents the cost of T-shirts. But it said N T-shirts, all right, with the same pattern. Then it says find the total cost for 5 T-shirts. N T-shirts, 5 T-shirts. N T-shirts, 5 T-shirts. Sean, what are you noticing?
N represents 5.
N represents 5. The N in T-shirts changed to 5 in T-shirts. So I'm going to change this N to 5. So I'm going to put 11, 5 in parentheses, plus 6. Awesome observation, Sean. Now what do I need to do first here? Javon.
Multiply 11 times 5.
11 times 5, 55, plus 6. Guys, do y'all notice how even though you're just seeing it today, is it already getting easier to see 11 times 5 when they're next to each other? It's already getting, like, it's gonna catch on fast, okay? So now 55 plus 6 is? 61. Okay, so there's my answer, but remember, we got to give us a sentence. I'm going to read that last part again. Find the total cost for 5 T-shirts with the same pattern. Give me a sentence, Camilla.
For all 5 T-shirts, the total cost.
For 5 T-shirts, the total cost is $61, okay? You could have also said the total cost for 5 T-shirts is $61. $61 is the total cost for 5 T-shirts. There's a bunch of different ways we could write that. Hunter?
Also, for all 5 T-shirts, the total cost will be $61.
Perfect. Perfect. So same wording, just in a little bit different order, okay? All right, guys, let's flip over onto the back, guys. I want us to we're going to fill in the chart together, and then we're going to talk about what problems to do for the homework. All right, on the chart, for number 1, this first box, it's asking us, look, it says variables. What are variables again?
The letters.
The letters, awesome. Okay, so on number 1, what were my variables? Thank you, Akina. D and C. All right, what are my numbers, Tony?
Numbers are 5 and 2.
5 and 2 before you just call it out on me. All right. What are my operations? TVIT. Addition. And Camilla. Multiplication. Remember 5D, if it's next to each other, that is multiplication. 2C, that is multiplication. So we're going to write plus and times. All right. Variables for number 2. What are they going to be? Noah?
W, Y, and S.
W, Y, and S. My numbers, Anahi? 5, 4, and 2. My operations, Truett? Addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So we have a minus, a plus, and remember 5W multiply, 4Y multiply, and 2S multiply. All right, what are my variables on number 3? Chris, what are my variables? What are my variables on number 3? That's one. X. What else is a variable? Y and M. All right, what are my numbers, Ethan?
6, 3, 4.
All right, so 4, 3, 6, or 6, 3, 4, same thing. All right, and what are my operations here? Kaylin. Division, adding, multiplication, and subtraction. All right. Guys, down here on the bottom, I want y'all to just do the even problems, okay? So we can mark out number 5, number 7, number 9, number 11, number 13, number 15, number 17, number 19, number 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, and 33. You're just doing the even numbers, okay? You're just doing the even. Yes?
Can we do the problem?
You can. I have all of them worked out. Well, you can. Do the even first, and then if you have additional time and you want to work some extra for practice, you can.